Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome on to our Keep Punching University Zoom tonight. I am beyond honored and privileged to be interviewing my mentor, one of my biggest mentors in my life, along with his wife. I am going to be interviewing Mr. Kerry Daigle tonight. He has been in this Juice Plus business for over 30 years now. He is a professional boxing promoter. He is also an author. One of my favorite books that he has written is Dreams, Fairy Tales, and Miracles. I love this book. I keep it on my desk because I reference it pretty regularly. He is also a mentor to many. And like I said, I am so privileged to work with both him and his wife, Miss Mickey, on a daily basis and have access to their wisdom. And so I'm excited for him to share some of his amazing wisdom with you guys tonight. So today, Mr. Kerry, I want to ask you some questions that refer mostly to this company and your thoughts about how you and Miss Mickey have been in this business for over 33 years. Is that good with you?
That's awesome. Whatever you want, LeeEllen.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I have prepared some questions. So would you mind sharing, your intro of Juice Plus? And I understand that you were actually a no for quite some time before you said yes to this business. So if you can share a little bit about that story with everybody.
Yeah, in 1989, I was sharing an office with a group of attorneys. They were the leading litigators in the country in creditor and debtor litigation, top 4 in American law, as far as a list of American lawyers that deal in creditor and debtor litigation. And they dealt with business all over the country. I would actually do PR work for them, and they would do some pro bono work for me in the promotional game. And they had this guy that came visit me every single day that I've been knowing for years, LeeEllen. Every single day would come to the law office where I would work, and he wanted to talk to me about this company called NSA. This was before Juice Plus. And NSA was Juice Plus before Juice Plus. So those of you that don't know that, that was the name of our company originally. And he came every single day, and he came to drink coffee and hang around and meet everyone. We had probably 14 paralegals in there with just 2 attorneys. And he would come there, drink coffee and meet with everyone. And every day he tried to get me to take a look at NSA, formerly the company before Juice Plus, as I mentioned, and every day I would just say no. I was just a good solid no. And then one day I'll send him over to meet Mickey. I don't want to get into long details. Mickey and I had been married 1 month. He went over to meet Mickey during a birthday party when she was really busy with a bunch of kids in the house. I thought she was going to throw him out the house, actually. And instead, she watched a video that he presented to her. And I got back home that night, and she was assigned distributor, and I became her first distributor. Now, understand this. I'm telling him no every day for 6 weeks, but I go home, and in 10 minutes, I sign an application. Those days, you would sign a hard application, and you would fax it in. For those of you who don't know what a fax machine is, we actually had those many years ago. Or you would mail your paper application in. And so within probably 10, 15 minutes, I became a distributor, who we call a partner now, or an affiliate. And goes to show you the difference. We were married 1 month, newlywed, new wife. How do you say no? You come home, she's all smiling and excited, and her eyes are the size of saucers. And she says, I'm so excited that you sent Emil, that was his name, Emil over. I love this. And you're going to be my first distributor. And sure enough, I did sign up, and she put me to work, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that story. I've heard it a lot, but it puts a smile on my face every single time I hear it. And so when you first got started with the company, were you already familiar with what network marketing was, or did you know about the concept?
This is a crazy answer. People are going to learn a lot about me right now real quick. I was so dumb or ignorant when it came to network marketing. Absolutely knew nothing about. I never heard of Amway. Can you imagine? Everyone's heard of Amway, and when that name came up, I said, what do they do? I thought Amway was some type of railroad company, like Amtrak or something. I had no idea. So I knew nothing about network marketing, absolutely zero, nothing. But I got to ask you a question. How about you? You're familiar with network marketing? Were you familiar? Were you involved before? Or did you know anything about it?
So I was actually involved without knowing I was involved. I was one of those customers of another company and chose to do the business, but never actually pursued the business. But I never had someone to actually teach me that there was a business behind it. And so I always laugh thinking back that if they would have shown me a little bit more, I probably would have been interested, but they never took the time to explain it to me. And so I was always just a customer. And they also didn't have great customer care. So I was not a customer for a long time. But when I was a customer, I was really into it and I liked it. So if they just would have taken a step back and would have told me about the business, probably would have said yes, but they never introduced it to me. And so it's funny, when I started Juice Plus, I connected the dots and I was like, oh, wait. I was in a network marketing company years ago, but never did anything with it because no one ever told me how to work it.
What's so interesting is now, it's their loss. Here you are in SSC with our company and building a good, solid business. Just recently got married. So now I understand from Mr. Kline, your husband, that you have a sincere, deep interest as a team to really build something very solid. So
absolutely.
It's taking care of the people that you bring in, giving them the attention they need. And you were a superstar from the first day, in my opinion. So we're just fortunate to have you.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, bouncing off of that network marketing conversation, whenever we're chatting together and I listen to you train, quite often, quite frequently, I hear you never call network marketing an industry, but instead you typically refer to it as a distribution system. So although most or many trainers, refer to it as an industry, what do you say to that? Why do you call it a distribution system?
Well, number one, the industry is the product that you market. That's the industry you're really in. We are in the whole food industry. We're not in the network marketing industry. Network marketing is a different way to distribute income to the field of distributors. So it's a network marketing is just a form of distribution, and every company uses a different form of distribution through their network marketing distribution system. Now, keep in mind, companies that actually, I'm not knocking any companies here, but I want you to understand this. It's just from experience and dealing with people with even much more experience in my 34 years, is understanding that people that use the term network marketing really don't have a viable product, because that product would be, or that product line would be the industry that they're in. So if you don't have a real solid product, what do you sell? You sell the hype of network marketing. And that was from years ago when I first started in 1989. I mean, I would hear a lot of people talking about network marketing as a get-rich-quick program. Well, that was so false. It is, you can become wealthy, you can do very well, but it's a get-rich-slow program. You got to build this like any business. You can build a traditional business every day. If you work at it hard enough and you keep working at it, you can turn that traditional business into a mega superstar. But the same with Juice Plus, it's no different, or any network marketing program. You have to put the effort in. It's a business and it needs to be run as a business. So most people that you sell it as an industry, generally don't have a viable product. So they've got to go with something that will raise the energy level up of the people they're speaking to in the field to potentially bring them into the business with them or get them to buy whatever product they're promoting at that time. And many of these network marketing companies flip on products ever so often. We're fortunate enough, Juice Plus has been around for 30 years. So we're solid. We are in the whole food industry. All of our products are related to whole food. That's what we do.
That's awesome. And something that I think is so cool that you can kind of bounce off of that is, for everyone who doesn't know, Mr. Kerry actually in the early 90s, I believe, served on the board of directors of a direct sales organization that worked with approximately like 1,800, 2,000 companies that use network marketing. And so what was the most important thing you learned during those 2 4-year terms? Because I'm sure that was helpful for you when you were, thinking about starting Juice Plus and in your business.
Wow, that was an education. That was actually an 8-year education.
Wow.
It my PhD in network marketing and direct sales, because I was around the top leaders in all the major companies throughout America. And to be able to sit down and watch how they operated, what they did, what they said, the words they would use, I would take the good out of some of the stuff and use it. And some I thought was the bad, I kind of ignored, but also got a chance to meet a lot of the owners of these companies. I got a chance to understand the marketing plans. And I started learning immediately the power of network marketing, this distribution system, and how you can get paid, and how you can develop portfolio income, how you can build a life of freedom. The things that I started learning over that period of time just blew me away. And a lot of the stuff I learned, LeeEllen, actually were from leaders that were highly successful in many other companies, that I would watch what they were doing. I would listen to what they would say. And I'd say, God, man, the education on the direct sales industry was just something I can't explain. It's 8 years of rubbing shoulders with the who's who in network marketing and direct sales. And it was just phenomenal. You learn which companies make it, why some companies don't, why some are challenged, why many companies are going to have ups and downs. It happens in any business. Look what the pandemic has done in traditional businesses. I mean, it happens in any business, and it's knowing how to come back. You see what happened with Apple, for example. Apple at one time was struggling, and where are they today? Bam, home run, slam, whatever you call it. I mean, a major difference in their business. And that's happened with many companies in the traditional business world. And it's also going to happen with many companies in direct sales.
I'm sure that was definitely an opportunity of a lifetime. And so you mentioned at the end there that some companies have to come back from things. And so at the beginning of the call, you kind of mentioned that in 1993, the Juice Plus company was originally called NSA, selling water and air filtration products, along with some educational products to schools. And then all of a sudden, here comes fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And I'm sure that may have been a drastic change. And you maybe felt like, oh, we have to come back from this. So first and foremost, did you feel that drastic change? How did the field respond to that? And what were you and Miss Mickey's thoughts at the time? I'm very curious on that last one.
Wow, what a great question. I was never asked that question on an interview in my 33 plus years.
Wow.
So it's a good question. Number one, 93, when we joined in 1989, we were an environmental company. We had air filtration and we had water filtration. So naturally, we attracted a lot of people familiar with that field and that industry. And it was predominantly male. In fact, when we started, we were probably 95 to 98% male. And today it's reverse. And I can get in all the reasons why. Maybe you could, if you want to find out why, ask me the question later, we'll talk about it. But it's completely reversed. And in 93, when all of a sudden NSA came out with this fruits and vegetable powder in a capsule the people that were marketing the environmental products thought our president and founder, Jay Martin, was absolutely insane. What is this guy doing? And many of them exited the company. Quite honestly, right above Mickey and I, when Juice Plus came out, we were QNMDs. We were not even NMDs when Juice Plus came out. So about 8 people above us, all 8 above us were NMDs. And high-level NMDs making strong 5-figure income a month. I mean, solid, some mid-figure 5 figures, really great income. And they all exited. All of them, all 8 of the NMDs above us exited. So we happened to float up to a guy called Jeff Roberti, who I didn't know who the heck he was, but just doing the research, I had never met him personally. Doing the research, I knew who he was, but I never really had a chance to meet him one-on-one. And once we floated up, naturally, I had a lot of questions, talking to him. What did you do? How did you do it? Et cetera, trying to bring in all the information I could. And it was the best thing that ever happened to us, because the first thing that happened was that we got rid of all the negative thinking. These people that didn't believe in who our president was. I was an entrepreneur by profession. I was in business for myself since I was 13 years old. So I was running a promotional company. I knew what it's like to be an entrepreneur, to be in business for yourself. And all I knew was one thing. This is a multi-billion-dollar sales company. The president and founder, Jay Martin, was investing millions of dollars into a whole food product, fruits and vegetable powders in a capsule. And I knew one thing. I knew that he was a lot brighter than I was in the business field, because he was operating a multi-billion-dollar sales company. And I said, you know what? Mickey and I looked at each other and said, we're going to go with this dude. We're going to go with this guy, Jay Martin. He knows something we don't know, or he wouldn't be investing the millions of dollars he's investing in a product unless he knows something. And enter John Blair, who changed the game for us. And if you don't know John Blair, many of you have probably met him on some of the calls. It just absolutely took off. We not only got to NMD with Juice Plus, Mickey and I both, we were able to break out 10 NMDs within 45 minutes of our home in a short period of time. Juice Plus did it. And listen to this, LeeEllen. When the spirit is there, when the energy is there, when you feel good about what you're doing, when you have confidence in your company, when you have confidence in your leadership, you're going to step the game up. We stepped our game up. And that's the difference. We believed in the process. We believed in the company. We believed in the founder. We believed in the people running the company. And we stuck with them, and the rest is history. That's what really makes a difference. And the energy flows. Good energy is going to flow, but so will bad. So everyone's going to have a challenge in everything they do. There was a challenge when everyone exited at that time in 1993, 94. But we saw opportunity. That's the difference. And there's going to be a huge opportunity in the next 36 months. History is going to repeat itself. And we're going to have new superstars in this business that you never heard of before. And they're going to be leading the way with this company and setting records. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, what that story just reminded me of is something you say quite often is all great things are preceded by chaos. And, for those, I'm pretty sure we all know, we recently went through a pandemic and there was a lot of chaos. People were tied down at their home. They were not going to work normally. Things were virtual. Companies were going out of businesses. Others were losing their jobs and people were just confused. There was so much chaos. But what Mr. Kerry has taught me is it's the choices that you make in the chaos that leads to greatness. And so during the pandemic, personally, thanks to my mentorship from the Daigles, I chose to buckle down during that time and grow my business to SSC. And I used, books to do that. And I was able to read and grow. And I have it sitting right here. This was definitely a book that I read and reread, and it really helped me get out of that pandemic funk. And I want to read one of my favorite quotes to you guys in this book. It is, "Don't give up on your dreams. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you've ceased to live." Mama Daigle said that. And that is something that I think of, if I'm ever in my head, I'm having that, as Miss Mickey says, that sinking thinking, and I'm feeling too much chaos, I'll revert back to that quote, because I never want to forget my dreams. And so, Mr. Kerry, once the pandemic has lifted, how do you feel that Juice Plus has handled the situation of the pandemic? And in your opinion, what's going to take place the next 24 to 36 months, as you were saying?
Okay, that's two questions. I'm gonna try to remember that. Now, you brought books up. Look, I just happen to have you come to my office. You've been there 1,000 times.
Yes.
Books everywhere.
Books are everywhere.
Everywhere. So those are my reference guys to keep me from that stinking thinking. Keep me thinking positive all the time. One of the
I
best
learned from the best.
by Kurt Beavers, one of our friend NMDs, Make a Life. This is one of the best books on the market in the whole company. It's got stories in here about success stories. It's just a wonderful book. It's just a well-written book. I still use it today, give it away as gifts. And then one of my mentors, April Spritz, right here, the book Magic Blue Rocks. Wow, what a book. Just a story about a young lady living in a shotgun house that I can relate to. That's how I grew up. And how she went on to develop a multi-million-dollar business from there. Incredible. And she's a wonderful lady. Then, of course, Les Brown. These are the books that I believe you need to read. Les Brown, of course, absolutely is one of the best authors in the world. Fight for Your Dreams, The Power of Never Giving Up. It's one of the best personal development trainers you're ever going to meet. Les Brown, one of the greatest books in the world. Then a lot of times you wonder, what should I say to people? Well, look, you can educate yourself right there at home. Look at this, exactly what to say. This book, there's everything you need for you to grow personally is right there in books. How Successful People Lead by John C. Maxwell. How do they lead? What do they do? The Big Leap, the last obstacle to ultimate success. I mean, this is a great book. This book pretty much reveals a simple and a pretty comprehensive program for overcoming our barrier to happiness and fulfillment, what you were talking about earlier, for you to be able to move forward. And then I love this one because I'm not ashamed to say I grew up in poverty. I grew up on state assistance. My grandparents were illiterate. We couldn't read she couldn't read and write. She could only speak French. And we didn't own a TV set until I was in my late teenage years. It was a black and white TV. We didn't have hot water. I know what it's like to be poor, but poor is a state of mind. It's what you do to get out of it. And here's one of the books one of my mentors recommended to me, and I carry this with me in my briefcase everywhere I go, so it reminds me what are the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class. And I'll read that and I go over it all the time so that when I have one of these negative people or negative thoughts that I hit, I'm there to, to overcome it. So books are so important. I kind of lost myself with your questions. I think it was during the pandemic, what do you do? We should be reading books. And what's going to happen next 24 to 36
Correct.
months?
In your opinion, what's going to happen with our company in the next 24 to 36 months?
I don't want to sound redundant, but what I brought up earlier, LeeEllen, we're going to set records. We've been sitting subtle for almost 3 years. We've been tied down, but here's one thing that happened. We still kept getting our checks. And we were sitting at home. We could have been doing something else, but if you lost a job, you still had additional income coming in because of this Juice Plus business if you built something with it. We kept getting checks when other people's businesses were getting shut down, with people losing their jobs, we were still getting paid. This company never stopped sending checks every single month. That is amazing. So when you have that type of leadership, that type of company that supports you, how can you not put your heart out and go to work and understand what the future lies in front of you? It's incredible. I will guarantee you this. I've seen this happen before, twice. And this, in the next 24 to 36 months, the people that are paying attention are going to move forward and build something incredible that they've never had before. I don't care if you're already an NMD. You can double and triple what you've had. Sure, you may have lost a little bit of business during the pandemic, but it's up to you as the individual to turn it around, because you've got the support system of this $13 billion company who's done $13 billion in sales. Think about that a minute. With a product that averages $50 a month, and yet it did over $13 billion in sales so far. Read between the lines. We are what's happening. We are the GOAT. This product is the greatest of all time in whole food. No one's going to touch us. We've got over 40 double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. There is no competition. We are it. We lead the way. This is it. This is the company. Get out there and spread the word.
Ooh, I know Mr. Kerry's talking to someone tonight. But I know you need to go soon. So speaking of competition, I have one final question I want to ask you, because too many people seem to think that we have, a challenger now, a copycat product. And many people are aggressive in comparing us to them to show that we are superior. What are your thoughts on that? With your 30 years experience with Juice Plus and 33 plus years with the company, what is your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to relate it back to my boxing career, promoting a fight on national TV with a world champion, for example. So am I going to have the world champion in the corner, and I know he's the main event, he's fighting another top contender, and I'm going to talk about other fighters? Why should I do that? Why don't I lift these other fighters up, even if I have the contender who's fighting the world champion? Why wouldn't I speak about the contender and the world champion, that one particular fight, instead of talking about the other contenders in the top 10, the top 20, and giving them the limelight? That is ignorance. Sorry. Some of you may get aggravated with me saying this. Why would you do that? Why would you want to lift the other people up by comparing them to us? There is no comparison. We have 47 double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. Do I need to repeat myself? We are NSF certified. We've been around 30 years. Where is the competition? The competition's in your head. We don't need to talk about them. We don't lose customers to any copycats. If anything, they bring us customers, because as soon as we hear about it, we immediately talk to them. We know the value of good nutrition. You're taking it right now. It just so happens we got the GOAT. Let me tell you about who we are. So then you can make an intelligent decision and more educated decision as to what you should be taking. But there is no competition. We are it. So why give someone else the credibility they don't deserve? Again, 30 years old, 47 studies, NSF certification, multi-billion-dollar company. Why give them any attention whatsoever? I don't even know they exist. I couldn't tell you their name right now. So for me, there's no competition, and we teach that. That's why we don't lose our customers, because we know we got the GOAT. We are it. So that's my opinion. And it's probably going to be harsh for a lot of people that are listening in right now, because you probably maybe you've been shown a graph to compare the two. That's weak. Sorry, it is. That's my opinion. And I'm going to probably get slam dunked for it, because some people are going to be aggravated. But it's all about you and your confidence and your belief in your company and your product line. And people are going to read that. They're going to read that through you. They're going to look at your eyes. They're going to look at the smile. They're going to look at your posture. They're going to look at how you present yourself. And they're going to make a decision dependent on that. So, folks, you're the product first, period. And then here we are, the GOAT. Juice Plus.
Ooh, well, there we go. There we have it, folks. Just a few thoughts from one member of this PMD Plus power couple, plus a member of the founders group with this almost 53-year-old company. Mr. Kerry, thank you. Thank you so much. And, to leave a little nugget for tonight, something to think about for everyone on tonight's call. What are you going to do with these next 36 months? There has been some chaotic things happening in our world, but it's your decision to move forward through the chaos. Let's not stay stagnant through that, because people need us. People need us to move forward and to keep growing so that we can grow other people. Because like Mr. Kerry said, we have the GOAT. And so let's go out there and educate people. But Mr. Kerry, thank you so much for being on and making the time for tonight's call. And I appreciate you. And I thank you.
You're a superstar, darling. We're going to see you at the top real soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everything.